Or you want to put in, keep going. But misperking a debt is not going to get you anywhere. I yield back.
Mr. Sensenbrenner's fine.
I yield back to Mr. Sensenbrenner.
Mr. Sensenbrenner.
Before Doug Collins' embarrassing outburst.
The impeachment is a hoax. It's a sham.
Before Donald Trump's crying to the media.
That is what we would call evidence. And I don't want to make light of anybody's substance abuse issues.
The pot calling the kettle black is not something that we should do. I don't know what members, if any, have had any problems with substance abuse, been busted in DUI. I don't know. But if I did, I wouldn't raise it against anyone on this committee.
Way before Matt Gaetz got his ass handed to him.
I now call up H-Res 755 impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
And Jerry Nadler announced articles of impeachment. A pair of Rudy Giuliani associates were in the spotlight, and rightfully so. You might remember this duo, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, two players amongst many in the case of impeachment against the 45th president, Donald Trump.
We should forget about them reading fabrications of Trump-Russia collusion from the Steele dossier into the congressional record. We should also forget about them trying to obtain nude.
Devin Nunes, a representative from California who is suing a fake cow. Yes, really, a fake cow.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt. Hey, Congressman Nunes, I just want to ask you really quickly, what were your calls with Lev Parnas about? Were you asking about the effort to investigate Hunter Biden? Congressman Nunes. Nunes, I just want to ask you about your, I'm a reporter from The Intercept. I want to ask you about your calls to Lev Parnas. What was the content of those calls?
And continues to fumble in public at every turn, even trembling his phone in the face of a journalist after creepily snapping pictures, and, if libel were in play, falsely accusing said journalist of stalking.
How does Mr. Nunes explain this? 4 separate phone calls with Parnas with his name on them.
Never disclosed his conversations to the indicted associate, Lev Parnas.
Phone records obtained from AT&T show multiple phone calls between Nunes and Giuliani associate Lev Parnas, who was previously indicted for campaign finance violations.
The Sun Sentinel found Parnas and Fruman made hundreds of thousands of dollars in political donations to Republicans, including $325,000 to a Trump-allied political action committee in 2018. This helped the relatively unknown entrepreneurs gain access to top levels of the Republican Party, including meetings with Trump at the White House and Mar-a-Lago.
I can't swim, so I can't no swim reason. Either. You can't swim?
You may be asking, how the hell are the NBA's Miami Heat involved? More on that in a moment. Parnas, a central figure connecting many Republican politicians to the Ukraine-Trump scandal, once verbally engaged the owner of a property he occupied, telling the landlord, if you call the cops, they are not going to find you, ever. 3 days later, the men met to discuss the matter again. Parnas then held a gun to the man's head and said, "This is my last warning to you," got in his dark blue Porsche Cayenne and drove off. The condo at the heart of the dispute was on the 42nd floor of Trump Palace in sunny Isles Beach, Florida. You know, this Donald Trump. Seen here, photograph with Lev Parnas shared on Facebook in April of 2014. Court records show that back in 2002, the South Florida businessman found trouble over his company's basketball season tickets. Parnas' company, Aaron Investment Group, was accused of falling behind on its $197,000 a season agreement for 6 season tickets, sponsorship use of the Heat name, and other advertising, according to an article that appeared in the Miami Herald in 2002. He decided and made the cognitive decision to dismiss his own payments to the team. Parnas told the Miami Herald he had stopped paying because the team wasn't living up to its end of an agreement that it included a verbal promise to have a player hand him a signed team basketball at center court during halftime of a game in 2000. When that did not happen, Parnas told the paper, "It made me look like a fool in front of my clients. Parnas, who in 2006 did a deal with Lou Pearlman, the producer of NSYNC, who went on to be sentenced to 25 years in prison for running a massive Ponzi scheme, and for years until 2003, he was also in business with Mitchell Reisman, a man who pled guilty to theft by deception and securities fraud in 2004, should know a shady deal when he sees one. As we conclude, Trump is guilty, just as Parnas and Fruman are, of displaying the lack of integrity our American political system has. More importantly, in the 1999-2000 season, the best players on the Miami Heat were Jamal Mashburn, Alonzo Mourning, Dan Marley, Tim Hardaway, and PJ Brown. I am dying to know who the player was. If you have any insights, holler at us.